Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope everything in your world is great. Please let me know in the comments. I love hearing how your world's treating you. It is stupid cold here. Kids had the week off essentially. So 2-week long winter break. Today I want to talk about a subject that's a little bit difficult, a little bit harder to hear for some, but it is a subject matter that multiple people have requested I talk about, and so I'm going to talk about it. And essentially, it revolves around Logan Paul. Now, if you're not aware of who Logan Paul is, good. I'm not a fan. My children are. Oh, my daughter, my youngest is, and I bought her Logan Paul merchandise for Christmas, actually. But he's been very controversial on the interwebs this week because he did something that people have taken a lot of offense to, and for pretty decent reasons. But what happened was he went to Japan, and while he was there, he decided to visit the famed suicide forest and kind of be a little bit of a goof there. Suicide Forest is a place in Japan that is known for people committing suicide there. It's not as that's not the it's still a park and people go there to go there. Okay, it's not like it's just full of dead bodies. That's definitely not the case. But that's how kind of the West portrays it, as it's just dead bodies everywhere. So Jake and his crew, or not Jake, Logan. Sorry, there's two of them. I get them confused. They go to the suicide forest and kind of goof and laugh a bit, and then they actually find a dead body. They found the body of a person who had hung themselves. Now, I have not watched the entire video. I have watched clips that others have shown, heavily edited clips, and I will tell you that while I think what they did, I don't have a problem with how they reacted to this dead body. And the reason I don't have a problem with that is because if you've never seen a dead body up close, especially one that's not been embalmed, one that's just discovered, like, oh my god, I'm the first person to see this dead body, it can be really disturbing. It can be really weird, almost fake looking, almost bizarrely surreal. And people react to that sort of trauma. It's trauma and stress very differently. And so the way that they reacted was, in a lot of ways, normal. The fact that they chose to film it and then publish it on the internet, that's the part that goes, man, that's just a really bad decision, right? That's just a really bad decision. They went there as kind of a goof. We're going to go to the suicide forest and maybe we'll find a dead body. And then they do it, and then they decide to get all up in its face and look at it really close. And I say it as if it wasn't a person, but I unfortunately don't know this person's name. I believe it is a male from the videos that I've seen, but I've never seen the actual video, so I can't comment on that. But in my spiritual worldview, a body is just a body. So once the person has left said body, it is just a object. I don't necessarily have a lot of issues with I don't want to say defamation, because I think that messing with a dead body is completely different. But just looking at a dead body or even reacting to one is not necessarily a character flaw. I do think that recording it and putting it on the internet is disturbing. Very disturbing. Suicide has been a key part of my life for the last 20-something years. And, as somebody who has attempted it, as somebody who has lost a grandfather to it, I am not ashamed of suicide. I don't find it to be a It's a shameful way of dying, but from what I do understand, in Japan it is. And so going there and intentionally... DJ, could you please stop? My dog. Going there and intentionally perverting that body by displaying it, putting it on display, that is a serious issue. The laughing, the gaffing, the goofing, that's normal reactions. That's normal high stress reactions. That's how people deal with stress. Some people laugh. Some people try to shake it off that way. That doesn't bother me. The camera publishing it, that's what bothers me. That video should have just been destroyed. And maybe they could have done the lead in, we're going to go to the scary forest, and then turn that into a message at the end. Like, guys, while we were there, we found somebody, and it's really shaken us, and this is it. And left out the whole midsection. But they didn't do that, and it's a mess. I feel for them. Everybody on the internet is a character to a point. I try really hard not to be a character. I try very, very hard to be Chevee. And that's why I don't get views. Logan, Jake, PewDiePie, Philip DeFranco, Boogie298, all the big YouTubers, Jack's Films, those guys are characters. And as much as Casey Neistat is a character, when that camera comes on, they turn into somebody they're not. And if you believe differently, if you believe that your favorite vlogger is just the true life representation of themselves, you're believing a lie. They are definitely not that hyped and amped and awesome in real life. And it's no different for this young group of kids. I try really hard to be natural on camera. I try really hard to give you Chevee. And this is Chevee and how he thinks. And I've always represented myself professionally on the internet because this doesn't go away. This is forever. What you do on the internet is forever, right? That video that he published, he may have deleted it, but it now exists in the wild. People have downloaded it. It will always haunt him. There's no take-backs on the internet. No takesy-backsies. And so I have always, from the moment when I was a child, pre-internet, when the internet started to become a thing, it became don't ever publish your address. Don't give people your real name. And when I didn't start sharing myself, Chevee, until 2011. When my board game Scallywags got picked up. That's the first time I ever really went on the internet as Chevee. And I had made a very important decision at that time that when I play Chevee on the internet, when I present Chevee on the internet, I'm going to present a professional, considerate person. And I've carried that the last 6 years. I try very, very hard to be professional and be mindful of what I say. So I don't give you 100%. I can't. It's a 10-minute show. But I give you honesty. And in this particular situation with Logan Paul, I think the honesty should have just stayed in the can or been deleted off the memory card. I hope that answers the people who have asked. Suicide's never an answer, in my opinion, but for some people it is, and that should not be mocked, ever. I got glue, filament, I'm gonna go play. Have a good weekend, I'll see you on Monday.
Hey Doc, wait, I wanna ask you something.
Taser and fact comes from Banfield.com. What is the active ingredient in catnip? Catnip is the common name for the perennial herb of the mint family. The active ingredient in catnip is called nepentolactone, which can trigger strange behaviors in cats. Cats don't actually eat catnip and respond to its taste, but rather are reacting to the smell. It can be either dry or fresh form.